It's Gypsy Man, and all the parts finally came for our project for the Glock 30 Gen 3, and we'll start putting it back together and just talk about a few things, just a little table talk, a little bit of reassembly together. So first, we got all our parts here. These are all the new parts that's going back in the gun. All of these parts will be installed, and there are upgrades. We have the extended takedown, got new pins, got a new recoil spring. We're gonna put the housing back in. We have a new firing pin sleeve spacer. We have an extended slide lock, and we got new sights to put on the gun because the sights were gnarled off, and just from wear and tear, EDCing it every day while you're a mechanic, you're gonna have yourself some gnarled plastic OEM sights. So we're just gonna start by doing these simple things really quick. So we had to replace the extended mag, just to get your finger on there. It doesn't add any bullets to it, and that just slides in like so. And we replaced that because we saw a lot of space here with this old one, because it had been used for probably 20 years, so it's about time for it to get changed. It actually says 1997, so he probably bought this sometime then. So this is no longer needed. That's going to be disposed of. So we got that back together, and we're just going to put that aside. Now let's start working. Let's start taking things out of the bags and putting things back together. So quickly, let's do sights real quick. And we're going to use Loctite blue on here, and we're just going to get them on there very simply. No issues at all. This is very easy if you have the right tools. Matter of fact, let's start moving some of this stuff out of the way so we can have some area to work. Start putting back the trigger and everything. And what I like to do, I like to just get it on there, the front sight. And once I have the front sight on there, I kind of just push down on it so that it doesn't move, just in case there's some tolerances there. Put a little bit of Loctite in there. Just a little teeny dab, you don't need a whole bunch. Just a little dab. And we'll be good to go. But I bet people been having a fit over some of my videos because when I clean my guns, when I take them apart, I actually polish the parts. People are like, why are you polishing the parts? It's not going to do anything. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it will be smoother. I know that for a fact. And to be honest with you, all I needed to do is just, go on there. And because I clean my gun so often, just make it easier for me. So that's the reason I do the polish on the triggers and all the parts that have anything to do with what's touching inside the triggers, because it just makes cleaning easier, especially if you're like me and you just like taking things apart and putting them back together like so. And you can just snug this up. You don't have to crank it. Don't have to crank it. And if you're a stickler like myself, you can actually go in there. I like to use millimeters, and you can measure up the differences between the two. And I'm gonna use the light on the slide to make sure that these are correct. And I'm good to go. So we have the front sight installed, fairly easy. Now we're going to do the rear sight quickly. I like to just dab a little bit of oil right there. And I push the sights on as much as I can, and then I get my sight tool. I'm not going to sit here and fight it, and I'm not going to put it in a vise and try to hammer it. I'm just going to do it very quickly with my sight tool, and I don't know exactly how he likes his sight, so I'm going to make it safe. And I might just put him in the middle. And yep, I use a wrench. I don't try to fight things. I just get them on there. And be done with it. I don't force it though. You know, I definitely line it up when I do that initial install. I put them on there without any force. And all I'm doing now is just checking to see how it looks to me as I put this sight on. And I'm pretty much, we're almost there. We're pretty much there. Let's take it out of the vise and see what it looks like. And I'm doing this quickly because I'm not here to teach anybody how to do this, but I'm just sitting here talking stuff while I'm working on this gun. And we're a little too far over to the right, so we're going to bring it back a few turns. And this is how it looks. This is when you go get your sights installed. This is how it looks. And these are the measures that I've taken to do that. It's not an exact science, you just have to eyeball it. That's all you have to do. Just take it out, see what it looks like. If you need to move it a little bit more, you just move it a little bit more. So that looks good. That looks good. And since this install, when we're finished, and me being who I am as a stickler, taking out my ruler, and I'm going to look at it in millimeters. And I got one on that side. I could take it over just a teeny, just a touch. And you got to use feel when you do this. You got to use feel because you can feel the tool move it over ever so slightly. So one guy was telling me that he talked to an armor, and he said that the new Glock Performance trigger has a slick coating on it from the factory. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't experienced any slick coatings on a Glock Performance trigger from the factory. So if there is one, I haven't seen it, and I haven't had any of my polishing jobs fail me. And it does feel better, and it will be easier to clean. And I just do it occasionally. I don't sit here and just look at this. Yeah, it's more than just a field strip, folks. It's more than just a field strip. So, and we got everything polished up. I just polish everything. No, you don't have to do everything. I just polish you could just polish what touches other parts in the trigger. But I like to polish it all since I got it out. Why not? It won't hurt anything. It won't hurt at all. So that's the only reason why I do that, to be honest with you. And for people who would like to do this themselves, you will find that it is very simple to do. You don't have to send it out. You just gotta have a little know-how, and you just have to just go in there and you have to do it. And when you do that, and the reason that we replaced this is because the original one had a crack in it right here. It was fully cracked. So I just replaced it, you know, Glock OEM part. And we're just gonna install it easily using the slide. And we're just gonna put the spring on there, and we're gonna put the cups on. We're gonna put these cups back on. So we're just gonna hold down the spring, put one over here. It's kind of crazy with these gloves. And other than there, and we're just gonna line them up, and you got yourself a firing pin back together. Okay, nothing to it. Make sure everything is on there correctly. Make sure everything functions, doesn't pop off, and we're good to go. And we'll just be putting this in. And all this stuff, you know, once you've taken your Glock apart a few hundred times, I mean, you could do it with your eyes closed. And you should be that good with your tools anyway. We're gonna put this side in, okay? We're gonna put our back plate back on. And I'm just gonna press down with this tool, capture that, and then I'm gonna press down on this, capture that, slide up, and it snaps. So we have ourselves a clean and polished firing pin system here. Got some new slides on, some new sights on there. I like the Amerigo Troopers. You gotta find out which ones go on your gun. And mind you, this gun did not have any sights on it at all. So you just see how fast I just put that back together. And you can do it with your eyes closed. Do it a few hundred times and you just have it. When you start breaking it all the way down, because you can't just stop at a fill strip. You can, but other things are dirty. You need to clean it. And this is a new firing. This is a new spring, recoil spring. This one was broke in this area, and the spring was actually coming over it, if you can see it. Let me see if I can get it close enough so you can see it. Let's get it in focus. We might have to do this. There we go. So you see how the spring is starting to come over that little cap there. So we're getting rid of that. We're gonna put the new one on here, which is a little bit different. If you look at it, it's a little bit different because it's the newer, updated version. This is the original. We're getting rid of that. And it feels the same and it fits perfectly. And we got it on there. So we got our slide completed. We can put that aside. Now we're gonna start with our frame. We gotta extend it. Extended takedown lever. I put them on all my guns, and you can see that it's just longer. It's just longer. It's longer by a few mils, and it's definitely worth the upgrade. And I do it, like I said, on all my guns. So we're just gonna put everything back the way it needed to go on. I'm gonna make a part 2 to this video because I know this one's getting a little bit long. So let's go to part 2. Peace.